On the 5th of May this year, Lidl quietly switched off a reward that millions of us had come to count on. The free bakery treat, the free veg, the 10% off your whole shop. One morning it was simply gone and most people never even noticed. On its own, that's nothing. But it is exactly the kind of small, quiet change that should make every Lidl lover in Britain sit up in their seat. And it is not the only one. There is now a camera watching how you scan your own shopping, and I will show you exactly where at number 8. And there are 2 little words printed above that famous bakery that an actual trading standards officer made Lidl take down. That is the one that worries me most, and it is waiting for you at number 1. So please don't skip ahead, because on this list, the worst of it comes last, and it earns its place. Because here is the truth. Lidl might be the best thing to happen to the British weekly shop in a generation. It is privately owned with no restless shareholders to feed and no quarterly panic to squeeze another penny out of you. It has gone toe-to-toe with Aldi for the title of cheapest supermarket in the country month after month. Its bakery sells 122 croissants every single minute. And for millions of families through some genuinely brutal years, it has been nothing short of a lifeline. So I am not here to bury it. I am here to protect it, because we have seen this story before, haven't we? 20 years ago, half of Britain's big supermarkets were genuinely good. The quality was there, the staff were everywhere, you could trust them. And then, year by year, we all watched it slip away. A corner cut here, a recipe cheapened there, until one day you looked up and wondered where the shop you used to love had gone. Nobody asked for that. It just happened, a little at a time, while we were all too busy and too polite to say a word. I will not sit quietly and watch that happen to Lidl. So here are the 9 things you really need to know before your next Lidl shop. And then I'll tell you the handful of things in there you would be mad to miss. Before we get into it, do me one quick favor and hit that hype button. Every tap pushes this in front of thousands more British shoppers, and that quiet pressure, thousands of us paying attention together, is exactly what keeps a good shop good. Tap it now, for all of us, and let's go. Number 9. The Great Rewards Shake-Up. Let's start where we came in. On the 5th of May, 2026, the old Lidl Plus deal was switched off for good. Spend a tenner, get a free bakery treat, hit £50, free veg, reach 250, 10% off the lot. In its place came a points scheme, 1 point per pound, each point worth a single penny back. Now Lidl calls that an upgrade, and for some of us it might genuinely be one. But do the sum before you take their word for it, because a penny in the pound is a very different animal from a free loaf of bread every week. And here is the catch nobody mentions. The points sit safely for 2 years, but the moment you turn them into a coupon, you have roughly 30 days before it quietly expires in your pocket. So claim what is yours. Open the app before you shop, because there is even a welcome bundle worth about £1 just for downloading it. Free money most people walk straight past. A penny in the pound is a kind gesture. It is not a free loaf of bread, so do the maths before you say thank you. Number 8. The cameras that watch you scan. Here is something to treasure about Lidl while we still have it. A real human at the till, scanning faster than your eyes can follow, with a quick word and a smile. But across the country, those staff tills are quietly giving way to self-checkout, and Lidl's newest machines come with a twist. They are fitted with cameras that record you as you scan, and if the system thinks you missed something, it freezes, plays the clip back to you on the screen like a dodgy penalty decision, and refuses to let you pay until a member of staff walks over. It is sold as a way to stop theft, and fair enough. But something sits wrong about being filmed and replayed while you are simply buying your bread and milk. One shopper summed up the mood perfectly. They just wanted Lidl to bring back the staff tills. Simple as that. So let's say it plainly while it still counts for something. We did not fall in love with Lidl because of the cameras. We fell for the person at the till. Let's not let them quietly swap one for the other. Number 7. The legendary speed and how to beat it. That machine gun scanning is not the cashier rushing you, and it is not an accident either. It is deliberate. The barcodes are printed huge and wrapped around several sides of every pack, so staff can fire your shopping through without once stopping to hunt for a label. That speed is a real part of why your bill is lower than the shop down the road. The only casualty is your dignity at the packing shelf, where a full week of groceries piles up faster than any human alive could bag it, and you shuffle off feeling thoroughly outpaced. So here is the trick the regulars swear by. Leave little gaps between your items on the belt and the whole rhythm naturally eases. No awkward word required. So lean into the speed. Just keep one hand on the brake. Number 6. The car park that costs more than your shop. A lot of Lidl car parks now run on number plate cameras with a strict limit, often around 90 minutes. Sounds generous, doesn't it? But picture how a real Lidl trip goes. You queue to get in, you queue at the till, you pack at your own steady pace. And on the way out, you bump into a neighbour you have not seen in months and stop for a proper natter by the boots of your cars. And that can be just enough to tip you over with a £90 charge landing on your doormat a fortnight later, swallowing a whole month of careful savings in one go. Here is the part that stings. It is usually not even Lidl. It is an outside firm, names like Smart Parking or Parking Eye, running those cameras on their behalf, but the charge lands on your mat all the same. So glance at the sign on your way in, clock your limit, and if you fancy a proper long chinwag, have it well away from the cameras. And if a charge does land unfairly, do not just sigh and pay it, because plenty of people who calmly stand their ground and appeal watch the whole thing melt away. A 90-minute natter should never cost you £90. Number 5. The deal that isn't a deal. By law, every shelf label has to show you the price per 100 grams or 100 millilitres. That one little number is the honest one. It is the figure that lets you compare a fancy branded jar against the humble own brand fairly, even when the sizes are all different. But it is printed tiny, tucked into a corner, while the big, bold price and the cheerful multi-buy sticker do all the shouting. So we grab the bigger bottle, assuming it must be better value, when often the medium one, or the plain single instead of the 3 for 2, works out cheaper per gram the moment you actually look. The shampoo on a flashy offer can cost more per milliliter than the one sitting right beside it at full price. It takes 5 seconds and primary school maths. The big number is the advert. The little number is the truth. So read the little one. We are past halfway now, and I will be honest with you. The 4 we have done are the everyday stuff, the quirks and the habits. But the one I really need you to hear is still coming at number 1. And it is about those 2 words above the bakery. Stay with me. First, a couple you will actually be glad to know. Number 4, the tight dates and why they are secretly good news. Lidl runs one of the leanest, fastest supply chains in the whole business, so stock flies off the shelf instead of aging for weeks under the lights. The flip side is that fresh items can land with very short use-by dates, and shoppers have learned to look twice. I have heard of potatoes that look perfectly grand until you cut in and find a thread of black hiding inside, of berries that turn soft within a day of getting them home, of bread that has gone stale by Wednesday. But here is the turn. Bread that stales quickly is very often bread with fewer preservatives keeping it falsely alive, which is honestly no bad thing at all for you. So this is not a criticism, it is a habit. Turn the punnet over in your hand, check the date properly, have a quick glance inside the bag. A short date is not a warning. It is a shop in a hurry to feed you something fresh. Number 3, the favourite that quietly vanished. Every great discounter has its cult hits, the products a devoted little following builds their whole shop around. For a good while, one of Lidl's was its kombucha, and then in early 2025 it simply disappeared from the shelves. Fans went hunting for it store to store until one of them put it online with a kind of heartbreak you cannot fake. Why has the kombucha been discontinued? They asked. It was so good. Now, one-drop drink is no scandal. Ranges change, things come and go, that is retail. But when the quiet little favourite starts slipping away without a single word of warning, that is so often the very first sign of a shop beginning to drift away from the people who loved it most. So, if there is something in that shop you treasure, say so and say it loudly. When the quiet favourites vanish without a word, that is your cue to get loud. Number 2, the middle of Lidl. Now this is the one we are all guilty of, myself included. Twice a week, every Thursday and every Sunday, a fresh hoard of treasures lands in those middle aisles on one wonderfully ruthless little rule. When it's gone, it's gone. You wander in for nothing but milk and bread, feeling thrifty and rather pleased with yourself, and somehow you drift back out clutching an angle grinder, a set of garden kneelers, and a fleece for a dog you do not even own. Around 65% of the people browsing that aisle came in specifically for it. The few quid you saved on the groceries vanishes into 40 pounds of things you never once meant to buy, all because a little voice whispered that you would never see it again. But here is the trick that hardly anybody uses. Lidl lists every upcoming middle aisle deal on its app and in its leaflet up to 2 weeks ahead. So sit at home with a brew, see exactly what is coming, and walk in with a plan instead of being happily ambushed. Walk in with a plan and the middle aisle is a treat. Walk in without one and it is a tax. And number 1, the one I asked you not to skip ahead for. It is those 2 little words above the beloved bakery, and make no mistake, that bakery is a crown jewel. It is the nation's favourite. The smell of it pulls you straight through the doors and the pastries are genuinely lovely. But for years it was sold to us with 2 words, freshly baked. And most of us heard that and pictured dough made and baked from scratch that morning, right there in the shop. The reality is a good deal less romantic. By many accounts, the bread and pastries are made elsewhere, frozen, shipped in, and merely finished off in the store ovens. Baked in store, yes. Baked from scratch in store, not quite. And it mattered enough that trading standards stepped in, and Lidl dropped the words freshly baked from its signs and its website, though shoppers reported still hearing freshly baked over the in-store tannoy months afterwards. Now, let's be fair, the croissant is still good and rebaking frozen dough is something plenty of shops do. The problem was never the pastry, it is the word. Because do you remember that vanished reward right back at number 9? This is the very same quiet move, just in a different aisle. Less, dressed up as more, betting we are far too busy and too polite to ever turn the packet over and read it. One gently bent word, then another, and that is precisely how every other supermarket slowly lost our trust. And the entire point of this video is to catch it early, together, while it is still just a word on a sign and nothing worse. Baked in store is a wonderful thing. Freshly baked was a step too far. Keep the words honest and everything else holds. So that is the watch list. Now for the half I actually enjoy because Lidl still sells some genuinely brilliant things, and knowing exactly what they are is half the joy of shopping there. Here is what you would be mad to miss. First, the deluxe range and the drinks aisle sitting right beside it. Think of it as a stealth premium shop hiding inside a budget one. The deluxe wines keep winning real recognition, and the gin is where it gets genuinely cheeky. Lidl's Hortus London Dry, at around £16 a bottle, was put up blind against the big names by the good housekeeping experts, and it beat both Gordon's and a bottle of Sipsmith that cost getting on for twice as much. Add the lovely cheeses and the proper seafood and you have a premium aisle most people walk straight past. Please don't be most people. Second, yes, the bakery, because the honest catch at number 1 was the word, not the pastry. The croissants and the pain au chocolat are some of the best you will find in any supermarket in Britain, for a fraction of a patisserie price. Shoppers have gone as far as calling that pain au chocolat the best they have had outside Paris, so enjoy them with a completely clear conscience. Love the croissant. Question the slogan. You are allowed to do both. Third, the fresh meat and the fish, the corner-loyal Lidl shoppers will defend to their very last breath. Steaks that shame a butcher's price. A smoked salmon that shoppers swear is better and cheaper than the versions in the big supermarkets. Just give the date a quick check, exactly like we did back at number 4, and you will be laughing all the way home. And fourth, do not overlook the humble fresh produce. The cucumbers, the eggs, the bags of garden peas, the unglamorous stuff that Britain buys here by the sheer mountain. It will never start a dinner party conversation, but it is the dependable backbone of a cheap, honest shop, week in and week out, doing the same job as the pricier versions down the road for a fraction of the money. Your purse will quietly thank you every time. So that is the real, honest picture of Lidl in 2026. Still a brilliant friend to your wallet, still streets ahead of most of the competition, still absolutely worth your loyalty. Just a friend we now keep a kind and watchful eye on, so it never drifts the same sad way that all the others did before it. Remember that little reward they switched off on the 5th of May, the one we opened with? That is where the watching starts. When you spot a quiet step down, a product, a price, or a word doing a bit too much work, say so. Claim what you have earned. Check the dates, check the unit price, and take it back if it is not good enough. Do that. Lean hard into what Lidl does brilliantly. Stay gently alert to the rest, and you will keep coming out comfortably ahead. If this helped you today, go and hit that hype button for me, because it truly does push this video out to so many more shoppers who would want to see it. And that is how we keep a good thing good for one another. And I would love to hear from you down in the comments, so tell me which supermarket or which food you would like me to dig into next, because you lot always pick the best ones. Until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and never settle for less than you and your family deserve.